I'm not upset. I'm not. We had a good run. I don't know. The longest other winning streak in the NFL was coming from the New England Patriots. And we held that till the second half of the season, so congrats, Seahawks. You did something barely any other team has done. The LA Rams weren't even projected to beat us this season. And we have them the second time, and then we get the Cardinals, I think week 17, and then we're done. We have the Packers, that's going to be the toughest thing for next week. And now they're one of the 4 teams that got a bye. Next to the New York Giants and Tennessee Titans. Other than that, we have, of course, the Seattle Seahawks, the Cleveland Browns on Thursday Night Football against the Steelers that got pimp slapped 21-7 because Mason Rudolph couldn't even read routes the pass rush was getting to him. Everybody was dropping fucking footballs. Juju Smith-Schuster barely even looked like an ever won option after the loss of Antonio Brown. Washington, Mason Rudolph, James Conner wasn't being utilized properly. And after the helmet hit, enemy number 1 is currently Myles Garrett, but now he's suspended indefinitely. Other than that, seeing Mason Rudolph fall off after having a 4-1 as a starter, kind of a disappointing pill to swallow, but other than that, Cleveland got a win, so these are positives that comes out of this. They are currently undefeated after Gardner Minshew got out of his starting position for the Jacksonville Jaguars. So I guess that makes them a dangerous team in the AFC again. They've also beaten teams above 500, so I guess that makes them competitive. Whatever way you say it, I don't give a shit about the Browns still. They're still going 7-9, 6-10. There's no chance in hell they're still getting a decent little winning season out of this. Next up, we have the Atlanta Falcons playoff against the Carolina Panthers on the road. Matt Ryan's back on the floor, on the field after missing a few games due to, I think it was a knee injury he had. That he had Matt Schaub start for a few games. You lost your secondary. Vic Beasley's overrated. You just lost Mohamed Sanu to the Patriots. If there's chances of you stopping Christian McCaffrey, there could be a shot of you guys winning this game, but seeing how the Panthers actually been playing decent, Christian McCaffrey's pretty much having his best offensive season ever. I have no idea how in the hell this is going to go. If I were you, I would just cut my losses, play conservatively, because the Panthers defense is underrated. They can shut down reliable receivers, and we seen it firsthand after they lost to the Packers in a close one when Allen was moving out the ball. He was actually hitting out DJ Moore. He was hitting out more of his receivers. Olsen dropped a few some really essential passes to get game close. But other than that, dude, that game was incredible. And that was over snow time for supposedly a second string quarterback that's been leading the Panthers to play competitive all season long. So I have the Panthers winning by at least 14 or 15. Next up, we got the Cowboys and Lions. The Lions has been playing alright. They're still shit. Still can't pass. They're lucky enough that they only beaten the Giants so far. After still getting pimp slapped by multitudes of teams. Cowboys win by at least 21. We got the Jaguars. Now, I don't think I've heard any injuries instituting the Jaguars after the return of Nick Foles back on the starting lineup. So, all I can give you is just how shit the defense have been since losing Jalen Ramsey. Now the Cowboys are still 5-4. They've still been playing like shit on the offensive side of the ball sometimes, and they have done well. But we know they were going to lose to Minnesota last week because of how better and more well produced their defense is at stopping the pass rush, and how better off they are just making sure Dak Prescott doesn't have to rely on his passing a lot. You know how crap the Jaguars are, because they are kind of crap. I'm shocked that their offense still leads, even though all I see is Leonard Fournette. I'm being serious. There's no one threatening other than Leonard Fournette, Dede Westbrook, DJ Clark, and that's pretty much essentially it. The Jaguars' offense isn't that well rounded. And if they are going to win, it's either going to be just a huge collapse or something, because I don't see anybody winning this game. I really don't give a fuck. And that's a sad thing to say. But I really don't care. Jaguars are going to get pimp slapped by the Colts. Dolphins, Bills. Your front office is shit, your coach is shit, you're confused in what the fuck our scheme is. Ryan Fitzpatrick did beat a team, but you're not beating the Bills. Even the coach has low expectations that you guys can beat the Bills week 11. You know, I think you guys are like two of your last. Yeah, you guys are like two of your last 5 games you've won. So please, just try to play it at least as well as you can and try to utilize some of the youth you have on your squad, even though you have one good receiver, 2 good corners, and an aging pass rush that can't sack shit. So please do something after you guys just lost Kenyon Drake, that has been playing shit this season until he went to Arizona. Next up, we got Houston Texans. We have 2 black quarterbacks against each other in Deshaun Watson and, of course, Lamar Jackson. One went off to be a national champion, the other one became a Heisman winner. So, what can we say about this? Baltimore does not win. I'll be super upset. This is a big-ass 1 o'clock game. Thanks, we know that there's barely anybody hurt. You have pretty much the best secondary in the league at this point. And a top-rating quarterback that pimp slapped the New England Patriots. If you guys have no other confidence to get in your game, you guys need to get in your bag. Texans, the only way you guys are going to win, thanks to the loss of J.J. Watt, no Jadeveon Clowney. Jonathan Jacobs pretty much a mess on the field. Sometimes Carlos Hyde gets stuffed up in pressure. It's just no chance. I could still see a big gap of the Texans still having a dogfight for the AFC South. But other than that, I see a 7-point or 10-point loss to the Baltimore Ravens. Then we got Denver Broncos facing off against the Minnesota Vikings. Your O-line's a mess. You're lucky enough that you guys won a game. Like, really lucky. Thanks to the team you played was so mediocre and shit. So please, take this with a grain of salt. You guys are going to lose to Minnesota. Have fun. There's no reports of any injuries or controversy. And your scheme isn't that complex for somebody as the Minnesota Vikings to lose. There's at least decent play. If the Colts were shit, I could at least contend that they might just win because they have a better coach. You guys don't have the luxury of that. Thanks, John Elway. Then we get the Jets versus the Redskins. This is gonna be, I guess, competitive. This could be a winnable game after you guys got beat by the Giants. Thanks, they had a way better quarterback. But they're actually planning to play Dwayne Haskins for the remainder of the season. Even though he has one of the worst offensive lines in the league, a crappy secondary, and I would still pick the Redskins to win if it's possible. I feel like they have a more legit running game, even though they're getting carried off by instead of Geis, we have Adrian Peterson. That's now 6th all-time in rushing. But what you gonna do now at this point? Le'Veon Bell has barely produced since their game against Miami, and pretty much that's it. They only perform well when it's completely shit. You guys haven't scored touchdowns a lot since you guys played the Cowboys, and by God, we all know that we thought that was gonna be a coming out party, and now you're messing with a more experienced defense. Sam Darnold can barely get the ball up, and your receivers are more inconsistent than my high school team. So please try to make this at least a field goal game, because that's how I think this game is going to come by a 3-point deficit. Next up, we got our final 1 o'clock game, and that's going to be the Redskins versus Buccaneers. If I was to be super honest, after the Buccaneers had a big win, Saints, still going to be the Saints. It's still going to be the Saints. I'm just saying, fam. Just saying. Bengals, Raiders. You guys have no running scheme. Johnny Flynn, really? Johnny Flynn and Tyler Eifert barely been utilized most of the game, most of these games. You guys are still a winless team in the NFL. Still, to this day, the Redskins and the Jets were able to win a game, and the Buccaneers, Dolphins were able to win a game. You're telling me and they beat the Jets. You're telling me that the Bengals are still winless and they still have a lot more promising talent than the Dolphins and the Jets? And you start your near 10 years starting quarterback out of Andy Dalton for a rookie Johnny Flynn that has barely played even garbage time when you guys were even close to losing a game. And then we got the Raiders that's been playing it conservatively. They've been playing well. Carr is actually throwing the ball quite well, even though it's more forgettable numbers, and it's coming mainly off their running back. And their secondary's not that bad. They're able to air out the ball, so Flynn overthrows it. That's either getting swatted or picked. So I have the Raiders winning by 14 or 27. I really don't give a fuck about the Bengals at this point. You're making me lose a lot of things. Maybe I might be wrong, and the Bengals might just upset him because of a new face on the starting team. Then we get a Super Bowl 52 rematch against the New England Patriots against the Philadelphia Eagles. Get fucked, Philly. All I can tell you is Stephon Gilmore and the rest of the secondary is going to have a full, fun-ass day ball hawking you fat-ass niggas all over the damn thing. Oh my god, why am I getting so... Oh my god. Oh man, I apologize, but oh my god. If there isn't the most disappointing thing than seeing a team tank is seeing a team come from playoff contender, from Super Bowl contender, and back to mediocrity from a drop of a hat after their second string quarterback literally helped them win a Super Bowl for the first time in franchise history. And then we come off the same repetitive scheming, handoff, crappy pocket, run off, hit it over to Aguilar, or for just desperation time, give it up to our best receiver, is fucking Zach Ertz. And Alshon Jeffrey, we could just chuck it to him because obviously he can't run. He hasn't been a dangerous receiver since, my opinion, his time in Chicago. And we have another guy from Chicago out of Jordan Howard that's been underutilized, and for the last few games, he's actually running the ball quite well when we actually know what to do with him. And then we got the Patriots that actually had time facing off a real football team out of the Baltimore Ravens. When they actually got pissed off the running because they can't stop a mobile QB for their life. Running rotation was shit. They couldn't stop Marvin Ingram or Gus Edwards for their life. They couldn't stop the younger receivers, and their defense could actually pressure Tom Brady. Can the Eagles do the same thing? No, they're a bit more slow paced, but I think this will be a more equally footing game because most of these guys are actually used to the Patriots now. So this could be a close one, but I have maybe the Patriots still winning by at least 7 or 6. Then we get the Bears facing off against the LA Rams for Sunday Night Football. Why are we getting shitty primetime games now? Everybody's hurt, mediocre, or traded. Watt is hurt. Most of the starting quarterbacks for some of these teams are hurt. Most of the defensive players or the top players in the league are gone from controversy. And now Colin Kaepernick's able to actually be training for an NFL team after 2 seasons off. And now we got Mitchell Trubisky that hasn't been shit since last year. The Rams that hasn't been shit since last year. And both teams supposed to be Super Bowl contenders. Hell, both teams are supposed to match up in the NFC Championship. But that didn't happen either, thanks to a crappy divisional game and the Rams' mediocrity offensively. And we saw that. You know why? Because we beat them, and we're the number one defensive team in the league. At least Mitchell got his legs. That could at least play a factor. Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. You lost Marcus Peters. You lost LaMarcus Joyner. You lost. Okay, Littleton. You got some linebacker. You lost Aqib Talib. How in the hell am I supposed to feel confident that you guys are actually going to win a game? Chicago at least can do something over the fourth quarter. So I'm just taking up Chicago beating the Rams. Sure, that's a really gutsy guess, but I'm just saying, man. I think some of these teams playing like shit, and it's being so consistent. The Chargers played like shit. Bears, Rams, the Eagles playing like shit. And somehow the teams making a mess of all this are teams that used to be good. The 49ers, the Cardinals are playing competitive. The Buccaneers are somehow keeping it close, but they're still shit. And Watson really needs to. I mean, no, not Watson. Oh my god, I'm confusing. Black quarterbacks. The Bills used to be shit, and they haven't made the playoffs since like 2017 season. And, wow. And the Cowboys, so please excuse the snoring. Please, God, don't be a shitty Sunday Night Football. Come on, folks. Please. And we got Monday Night Football, the final game of the week. And it will be the Chiefs facing off against the Chargers. The Chiefs, please. Pat Mahomes back. The Chargers has been inconsistent. They can't throw out the play, and you have a good field general in Tyrann Mathieu. Nobody's getting past that secondary at this point. Keenan Allen can barely get the ball thrown by him, let alone an attempt. So, either way, this is going to be a tough game to watch if you're a Chargers fan. So please, take this with a grain of salt. This is only my opinion. Those are my picks for 2019 Week 11 schedule. So, please, I'm trying to catch up on some Z's, and I'm trying to get a schedule through. So, thank you for watching, and still excuse the snoring, please. Thank you for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe to the DST show. And I'll see you later.